Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong.
We stand like valiant soldiers to lay our lives to ensure that their blood won't spill in vain.
Ambazonia will shine.
The mothers who scream for their daughters, the fathers who are unsure when their kids are detained, wouldn't mourn in vain.
Will be sent. Shake no day until the very end. The cruise boys sing.
I told you before. When the time comes, they will come to us.
Where they vex, your whispers they jam. Dreams scatter like ashes for night where they cold. Hope break scatter like branch for storm. Now bad people hand innocent they suffer. Oh mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pay. Tears they fall like a river, like sister.
I know my national security advisor always reminds me I shouldn't utter certain words, but I say them so don't forget.
Dr. Joe, Sissy Go and others, them train them but them no feedback. Them voice now like thunder, where they under dark clouds. World where the town face go.
Because I know
they
are trying to take me down.
Children, they suffer.
But even if I'm not around, don't forget.
Mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like a river, like sister they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out windows, they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For they talk where they all know. Inside the shadows, small fire they grow. Freedom they grow.
Don't forget the crimes they committed against us. We, this generation, will defeat Cameroun in battle.
Ambazonia go stand gidigba, you no go fear night. Oh mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like the river, like say sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out widows, they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For this hug go they hollow. Mama Ambazonia, stars they touch the courage we know they share.
They said they could fight. They said they had trained bees. They had United States provided tanks and warplanes. We want them to fight. We invite them to fight. We invite them to fight. Where them they
great boys do the world for the ground. Wanna fly there.
Men and women all over the world come and go. Some leave nothing behind, not even their name. It would appear that they never lived at all. Others do leave something behind. The haunting memory of the evil deeds they committed against other human beings. Various kinds of theft, robbery, malicious injury to property, denial of human rights, simply because people are of a different color to you. Torture, imprisonment without trial, and political assassinations. Every time the names of such people are mentioned, even at the height of their power, with all the glittering symbols of power, they are like a grave, beautiful outside, rotten inside. Whenever their names are mentioned, feelings of contempt, of disgust, of revulsion, of hatred well up in our hearts. We regard them as the scums of the earth, as pieces of rags who are not fit to live. There is another second category of people who leave something behind. These are the men and women who have emerged in various parts of the world and who have chosen the world to be the battleground of their efforts, the theater of their operations. Their task in life is one. That is to improve the living conditions of the people amongst whom they live, to make life, to make everybody feel that it is worthwhile to live, to fight questions like poverty, ignorance, disease, and want. They are the men and women who want to put sunshine in the hearts of the poorest of the poor. Their name lives beyond the grave. They are the men and women who, when their last day comes, we are able to say from the bottom of our heart, here lies a man or woman who has done his or her duty to country and people. Their names live beyond the grave. They become immortal.
Good afternoon, fellow countrymen and women. Greetings to you, the liberators of our land and givers of freedom. We are being called as Mandela has said, to rise. To look at what is happening to our people, to our country, to our communities, and to be agents of change. To be the voices of freedom, of human rights, of human dignity. to stand up and help our people to complete this phase of our journey to freedom. The Ambazonian people have already delivered a strategic defeat to the butchers of our people. We've done so. We have successfully degraded, weakened, and dismantled the occupational governance infrastructure. They know it. What is left of the occupier in Ambazonia is their military of occupation. That is what is left. As the vice president said just 2 days ago, we must maintain a tough stance against Cameroun. This is not the time to blink. This is the time for us to redouble our efforts. This is the time for us to care more. This is the time for us to provide more humanitarian support, more humanitarian assistance to our refugees, to the thousands of Ambazonian patriots that are suffering in Cameroon's concentration camps. We can do and undo. A group of Ambazonians have taken over Cameroon educational system. A group of Ambazonians, hackers, have infiltrated and have taken over Cameroon colonial educational system. They didn't only take the system over, they didn't only infiltrated the system, they changed the system. A group of Ambazonian hackers have spent millions of colonial CFA to alter Cameroon education system and inserted within Cameroon official secondary school textbooks the history of Ambazonia, Ambazonian flags, the names of primary and key Ambazonian nationalists and liberators, and the demands of the Ambazonian people. Ambazonia wants freedom, human rights, and independence, and an end to Cameroon's occupation. These things have been embedded in Cameroon educational secondary school textbooks for more than 2-3 years. before the occupier and their agents even found out what what Ambazonian hackers have been able to do. There is no escape for Cameroon. There is no escape. Those things have been embedded within the psyche, the minds of Cameroon students, and even in the occupied territory for 2, 3 years. That's what secondary school teachers, high school teachers, it's what we embedded in those textbooks. They have been teaching because they believed it was coming from the colonial state, not knowing that we can do and undo any system. This is part of the resistance. This is how you psychologically alter the system. We Ambazonians, we dictate what happens in Cameroon and to Cameroon. This is who we are. So sometimes don't think fighting an occupier, it's all about guns and bullets. As I've explained to most of you, the armed resistance is only 25% of the liberation strategy. Economic sabotage. There is the psychological, the information warfare, the educational warfare. Look at what these brave Ambazonians have been able to accomplish. Look at the damage they've done to Cameroon psychologically and physically. Look at the humiliation. It takes ingenuity and good thinking. It takes passion and dedication and a commitment to pursue and execute a strategy like that so successfully for 2, 3 years. Imagine the impact from from the regions of northern Cameroon to the center regions, to the eastern regions, to the western regions, not to talk of the impact within the occupied territory. That's how you change the game. Two, three, four, five, six, seven can do more damage than sometimes what 100 people will spend their time making noise. What can you do for Ambazonia? We've been getting some images that have not yet been verified that anti-bear agents that have been learning some tactics and strategy from Ambazonians were able to sneak themselves into the Ministry of Public Service. And if the images that are now circulating on social media are true, the anti-beer protest and riot in Cameroon has started. And yesterday, according to those images, the Ministry of Public Service was burned. This information has not been validated or confirmed by the Ambazonia Governing Council. These are developing stories. We are still waiting for verification from our sources within the colonial state. There is so much you and I. There's so much every Ambazonian. Those that are working within the colonial system, there's a contribution you can make. You can bring the system down without putting yourself at risk, without exposing yourself. There is so much we can do. Let us listen to that story of how smart Ambazonians, how sophisticated Ambazonians were able to infiltrate and hijack Cameroon education system. Let's listen to that report coming directly from the colonial capital of Yaoundé.
Minister of Secondary Education has The Minister of Secondary Education has uncovered and sanctioned a network led by Cosmos Educational Press Limited falsifying homologated school textbooks in Cameroon. The network has not only disrespected the National School Manual Homologated Commission, but has also paid allegiance to the separatist movement Ambazonia and made attempts to mislead the educational community. Kilianda Ngifon talked with the Minister of Secondary Education, Jean-Ernest Galemasena Bibehe, on this racket and has the rest of that story.
It is on page 56 of Moving On Students Book 2 that the contents of the textbook has been reviewed 1 year before 2018, when it was supposed to be re-evaluated by the National Book Commission that until today met only once every 3 years.
Les auteurs ont plutôt fait l'apologie de l'Ambazonie.
In page 56, authors of these textbooks have rather praised Ambazonia by inserting its flag and replacing the theme of togetherness of the previous textbook editions with right and freedom, still paying allegiance to Ambazonia. Authors of these acts have informally identified 8 teachers, all pedagogic inspectors, 1 British Embassy employee, 2 employees of the Cosmos Educational Press Limited, publishing house.
Cosmos Educational Press Ltd.
As immediate sanctions, the 8 pedagogic inspectors have been stripped of their functions and more severe measures have been promised. Moving On Students Book 2 has been withdrawn from the curricula, and all other books published by Cosmos Educational Publishing Press Limited to be recalled. The Minister of Secondary Education also says all other members of the network will face the law. In the meantime, following the Prime Ministerial text of November the 24th, there will henceforth be only 1 textbook for each subject for 6 years, and control will be every year.
Now, imagine the cost to the occupier. The occupier has to revise this text and then order for new books to be printed. Imagine the cost to the occupier. This is the power of the mind, the power of a strategy, the power of people that are committed to dismantle an entrenched occupation system. What's your contribution to the liberation struggle? Are you just a noisemaker and a consumer of information? What's your contribution? What's your impact? What is it? Are you just a bystander? What can you make to push the liberation struggle forward quicker and faster? What's your impact? Who are you waiting for? Who are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? We've made so much progress. It doesn't take much to send the occupier packing. There are small, simple, potent actions you can take. There are things you can do for Ambazonia. It doesn't have to be on TV. Nobody has to know about it. The